you said during the week that you guys probably aren't as good as some people perceive you to be, and there's probably an argument to be made that you guys played a bit within yourself again today, but also counter to that is that you guys just really played well with what was in front of you. You guys didn't, to be with all respect to the Lions, you guys didn't really need it to overexert yourself. When you guys got your opportunities, you invariably got points from them.
I thought we wanted to be better today, and I thought we were, but I think you're right from that point of view. We sort of managed the game well, took our opportunities well. Probably the first half we left a few out there, but at the end we were really clinical. So, we had to manage energy. I don't want to sound arrogant, like we didn't like we had. You can't overexert yourself up here, not against a team like the Lions. But it's almost like we won without overexerting. You did right. And I don't mean that arrogant. I mean.
Sorry, my question ties almost into. I mean, if you look at the performance overall, I mean, how close was that to executing it almost to the T?
In terms of what we wanted this week, yes. I think the Lions defended our maul really well. Our maul's been quite dominant. I think we got a more penalty. Didn't get many more meters. But in terms of how we wanted to play tactically, I think territorially we were overwhelming in the first half. It was close. I mean, we obviously didn't play the perfect game, but it was better than I thought we were last week.
I just wanted to say congrats again on the overall team performance, but I just wanted to focus on the trio of Mani, Damien and Warwick. How were they as the exit outlets that you used during the game, and also them just initiating those attacks? Can you just elaborate on their performance?
Yeah, we're really lucky with those three players, and it's been a challenge as we all written about or talked about how to fit them, because they are three of the biggest rugby. I'm trying to think of a nice word. What's the word? I know the rude word. The three of the biggest rugby. I can't play. And lovers. You're not talking about. They just obsessed with rugby, and they talk about rugby. And I think we see a lot of the stepping and the flash from all of them, and I know they're great today. But they are constantly talking, and that's I think why we're winning territory, like against the Sharks last week. That Marnie and Warwick at the back next thing, when one's chased, and David and them at the back, their right feet. They really are. All they do is talk about rugby, and it's not just the paradigm. And these are sort of flash young steppers from the Cape. These are guys who are really thinking about rugby with really good awareness of where space. I don't think that we were at our best. In the first half, I think we tried a couple of silly little grubbers. Warwick did and put us under a little bit of pressure. But those guys, they're special, and the way they work together, they all know each other. The other one is it's a very special sort of trio.
Just a lot of people talk about Galant. Damien Phillips, say even your wingers, and just in terms of how dangerous they are when they are given broken play. But a guy like Marnie, he's almost starting to emerge sort of like we all know he's capable of playing a good attacking game, but he's also starting to emerge almost as sort of like understated general for you as well. Like a guy that brings balance. Like for example, that try for Siabelo, where he actually saw the space and kicked behind the guys. Do you think that's sort of like also an evolution of the experience he's gained on all his travels almost as well? Is that he's always been a very attacking attacking-minded player, but he's also played in the structure of the Bulls, and the kicking-oriented game of the Sharks and stuff. And you guys are just like sort of like starting to find a nice balance, and he also almost like brings a balance to you.
He does. I think there are two things. I think one is playing with Warwick. And Damien, they're just speaking the whole time. So he knows he can drop into the backfield, and he knows if he's not there, Warwick can be first receiver. So that I think. And then the other thing we just said to him, you're our flower, and you're going to be our flower for the foreseeable future. Up to you. I think it's been other franchises flower 15 out. And we took we had to wear a bit of pain in Durban. I remember a couple of weeks ago. I think we'd all admit Barney wasn't great, but straight off the game I said to him, you're starting at Flouth next week, and you're starting at Flouth in Ellis Park. And I think that you're probably right, he's probably learned a lot, but being settled I think helps him. But I say having the ability not to worry about the backfield, or that, that's what guy like Tim Swirl struggled a bit for us, was in the backfield. And if he knows he's got to work with those other guys, it's powerful.
Percy?
Hi Percy. Talent?
Goed in zo'n manier. Ik ga goed in die kamp met Coach John Dobson.
Yeah.
Coach, can I ask you, there was always question it seems like, or can I ask you, do you think you guys are at a good space at the moment, especially getting this short break, getting off the ground?
Yeah, look, we're in a very good space right now this evening. I think, the Bulls go to I think they go to Zebra, and Zebra got a few guys in the Italian team. The Sharks go to Treviso, Benetton have got 23 guys in the Italian team. So, right now this evening we're in a good space. I think what's been good for us is how we've evolved our game from being just relying on France and them for the scrum penalty to actually playing some rugby, controlling a bit of territory, scoring some. So I'm very pleased with the evolution of the team. We're under no illusions we're not the finished product, and we're no illusions that we've got challenges in terms, probably like this franchise, in terms of our player spend. You can go and look at our players, they're not quite the Galacticos that are down there. So, but where we are right now, the way we've worked and played our way out of what is potentially a hole, I think I'm very proud of it. We're happy to be where we are.
Just a couple of questions, and I'll ask this question with tongue in cheek. Last week you mentioned about we're all reporting on unions, foreign European clubs coming for the likes of White and Damien Williams. Aren't you concerned that some of these unions will come for a Jennifer again, sir? Second, another match again. The guys like the old cliche, the old Stellenbosch wine just getting better.
Dion Ferry is absolutely outstanding, isn't he? Look, I don't think he's going. He can't go home and tell his wife, "No, we're done. We're going back to France." He get divorced. So we got Dion for the rest of his career. Long, and may hopefully that'll be a couple of years, but it is getting draining, literally in terms of the player departure, and also in terms of us and managing it. The constant narrative every day of this player's going. It can be based on today that somebody will ring up, call up about Marnie Libok, or last week about Dan Duplessis. These are the worry we knew about, but it's just all the time. I mean, I'm sure the Lions have the same thing. I mean, Edward van der Merwe, the way he's playing, there are lots of players. Dion Pienaar, next thing is it was. So it's tough. It's every conversation now.
How does sitting at the top of the log sit with you? I mean, is it the position that you covered? Is there a sense of unease?
No. No, I think we're pleased. We're pleased. I think it's nice is that we had a goal and we're not there yet. It's not like it was to be top of the log right now. It was to try and qualify for the Champions League for next year. Try and get people in Cape Town proud. And we're not there yet. And it is going to be hard for us now because going to Galway is a lot different going to Treviso with that. So whoever wins tonight between the Shark and the game that's going on now could take us over if we don't get a result in Galway, which is a really hard place to win. So we will, and then it's going to be a shootout down when all the foreign teams coming here. It's going to be one of those crazy afternoons where teams are going to drop, because the Lions will get a lot of 5-pointers here. Other Bulls dropped a bonus point. It's going to be really, really tight going into the thing. I would like to put more of a buffer, but I'm happy.
All right, Team Virtual, you're up. Who's gonna kick us off? Nathan. Your hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Dobbo. Congratulations for the win. I've got two questions. On to Leicester. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, Dobbo, on to Connacht next on the road. Does it help knowing they might be missing a few players as Ireland face Italy the next day?
Not Connacht. I know Bundyaki hasn't played much for them. Matt Kent's a good player, but they've got extraordinary results even with Paul Bundy was there. And I've got really, really little sympathy for, we all went up there and we got brutalised, and our perception of suffering teams on those URC tours when they had their full internationals and we were without. I think they're a very difficult team to play in Connacht. So, I don't think that's going to be a massive sort of boost for us. Bundyaki is a great player, but it's going to be tough in Connacht.
And then, last question, Dobbo, it's a pity we don't have a presser after the team's announcement. Dan, after a stand-up performance the previous week, gets relegated to the bench, but Damon starts in his place. What do you make of his performance in the midfield?
Very good. I think both of them. Dan Hajuti's glute was in doubt. He only got cleared on Wednesday, but I said before, I wasn't going to tell you guys the entire evolution of the plan, but it was, Damien 15, 2 starts, come on the bench at 12, start 12, and it went exactly according to plan. It's going to be tricky for us not to have not to have Damien and Warwick on the field. It's hard to justify it to the bookkeepers if nothing else. They're two big players. But Dan Dupe it's a great problem for us when Dan Dupe produces a performance like last week. And even today he was really good again. So, and he also can play 13. We've played Ruan now every minute of every game, except for the last 3 or 4 minutes. When he gave himself a rest. But that it's gone according to plan. if it's with Damien Villeneuve, for some reason the guy gets some sort of attention. I don't know what he deserves because he's so good and so professional. We could have chosen him on the wing, and then people say, "Oh, you're messing down David Williams around," or fly off. No, he's already a failure there. Playing with fullback, no, you left Warwick Galant out. And I think he's played for South Africa 12, and I think 12 could be really exciting for him.
Nathan, your hands up?
Lisa, can I just have one last question, please?
Yeah, last one, Nathan.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to go to Leighton after.
Sorry?
Then I'll go to Leighton after. Carry on.
Okay. Robert, last week you played against the Real Madrid of rugby. This week you beat a team that you lost to. I mean, you said yourself, Real Madrid. There seems to be an income for you guys. I mean, what is the blueprint?
No, look, I think that we're a really tight team. The guys really believe in what we're trying to do. It's a happy team, team without egos, and we really want to work. And I think what we've done is we've actually changed our game quite well in not relying just on the big scrum and mauls, with the Nietering and France injuries, to play more rugby that resonates with the DNA of our region, and having a good tactical aware kicking game which helps us counter-attack. I think we score the most tries in the whole competition of counter-attack. So creating those, that's the sort of blueprint. But this is a team that, we knew we had to work our way out of the position we ended this union. It's been a tough couple of years down in the Cape. And the fact that, so it's just a real desperation and determination to do well. I continue the change, and the guys are incredibly proud, given what they've been through the last 2 years.
Thanks, Nathan. Leighton?
Thank you, sir. Hello, Dabu. Congrats on another win away from home. Firstly, you're going to have to contend with those selection headaches. You also have a guy like Rikus waiting to come back. Can you just give us an update on who you are taking over to Ireland, who's staying behind, except the guys that was sort of on long-term injuries, if you can recall from the top of your head?
Yeah, look, we haven't chosen the Connaught party. It also depends how many we'll be allowed to travel with, but the guys that all come into selection, which actually makes Sydney's performance quite merit-worthy. France won't make it, Nietling Fouché will be back, Salman will still be out, Evan Roos will be back, Junior Pokamela will be back, Ali Vermaak will be back, David Miesen's back today, and Rikus Pretorius is back. So we're coming nicely on strength, and France should be a week or two afterwards. Salman's a bit longer, but I think, I think I said in last week's presser, that pack, if you said to me before these local derbies started, we're going to take France Maherbert, Nietling Fouché, Salman Marat, Junior Pokamela is absolutely outstanding, and Evan Roos out of your pack. And now you're going to play the local derbies. I'll say, do we have to? And so I think, we've got a bit of depth in that pack now. And so guys like Ali and Junior and David all coming back, and Evan Roos was the toast of the town a few months ago. So I think those guys back is going to be great for that trip.
And then just lastly, you guys seem to have found a very good balance between when that attack needs to spark and when the defense needs to front up. It's been even honest both sides, because your attacking has been looking good. But the thing would probably be to tell the guys not to overdo that attack, because it seems to come sometimes a bit too easy, where they can just run from anywhere, like what it did in the lead up to Sergio's try. But sometimes those extra things can be a stumbling block.
Yeah, look, I think we are built on a really good defence. I think we were by some distance the lowest of the South African franchise conceded. Overplaying is an issue, but that's why we worked so hard on the territorial game. I don't think any other team's got as many 50-22s in the South African franchise like we've got. Yeah, overplaying and giving away a penalty or turning the ball over is a challenge for this group. But if we want to develop the style of rugby, it's almost a risk we've got to run. I don't think the people of Cape Town want us to. I think we had it a few years ago. Stormers to be top of the log, conceded less points than the Crusaders, but never scoring 4 tries. So it's a bit of a balance.
Thanks, Leighton. Adrian.
Congrats, Paul. Just on that, going to Connaught and going for that day, if you look at the style of play you played today and the guys who turned your side especially the tight forwards. How important is it going to be for those guys coming back? Just in the way you are going to approach the games over there. And obviously you can't play the same kind of attack or attacking game in those conditions.
No, we are going to change. Yeah, but luckily our maul has been quite good. We've got our scrum a bit better tonight. We are going to change. Thank God there's a Curry Cup game on Friday night, a tough one in Kimberley. So hopefully a couple of those guys, perhaps some of our benches like Andre Hugo, some of the guys we're looking to take to Connaught, maybe a Netlin Fashia could get a run there and get them ready for that game. But we know we're going to play in as I said, I half joked we might have to go and train up at UCT this week to get used to the wind and the conditions. But that you have to, in this tournament, you have to have a multi-court team. I said last week, the Cheetahs, they were great, they got the home wins, but you have to learn how to grind the wins in the mud and the rain up there. So yeah, we're going to be a bit different for that game.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks, Anani.
You guys comfortable? Any other questions?
Can I just ask a question?
Just one more from the floor here, Percy.
Sorry, Coach, I can ask you this question at some later stage. I just want to start the very quickly. In your opinion, as the Storm's head coach, and please I'll ask you not to just focus on your own players, what do you think is, I'm of the opinion, there's a vacancy as a deputy five in our country, in my opinion. What do you think South Africa, domestically, is our first choice five at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think there's a challenge. I think there's a test coming up that's outside the window. It might be England, I might be wrong, but there's going to, so that we have to be a local 10. Obviously, like I said, Marnie's, I think put it Chambers out saying, I think once, I always get them confused. This is Jaden, Once Jordan, this is I think once he gets a run, he's really one for the future. I mean, I'd love to have that kid. He's special. It's going to be him. I would imagine him, Butter. Look, if Jan Goosen's fit, that guy was winning the Curry Cup with one hand tied behind his back last year. So probably him and Goosen if he gets fit again, and Hendricks. But let's have Marnie can put together a run. But that is a challenge. I agree with you. It is a challenge. That is a challenge.
Happy days. Everyone comfortable?
Thanks, Judes.